But there aren't any tips. And any finance guy that's been in finance 5 years knows conceptually of what we're talking about. The one thing that hardly anybody puts in practice, and again, investment banks don't give this kind of advice because there's no real fees associated. If there were fees associated with it, you can bet your sweet ass Goldman Sachs would be selling it. But, and to be fair, why would you expect investment banks to give you advice that there's nothing in it for them? I'm the only guy I know of that's giving out free advice, shit tons of it. But I have a different agenda. I want my legacy to be, I built the greatest no money down empire that there ever was. But if you ask professionals, motivated seller, owner finance, does it work? They will tell you. They may gag a little, but they will tell you, yeah, absolutely it works. No money on my part? They may gag a little, but they'll say absolutely. And then some of you are going to run into guys out there. Is this a QLA Peña deal? Yeah. Sometimes that's good news, and sometimes that's bad news. But when you ask a professional, and when you ask your in-house lawyer and your in-house accountant that are part of your dream team, they may say that they've never done it without equity infusion. And then the question you're going to be most often asked, where are you getting the fucking money? And in the templates, it says, directly or indirectly through our board and or our professionals. Directly or indirectly through our board and or our professionals. Professionals meaning accountants and lawyers. Because that's where it's coming from. You don't add, although it would be true that if you said it, directly, indirectly, or directly through our board, professionals, and owner finance. But that scares people because I don't want you to say directly or indirectly through our board, professionals, and no money down way. I mean, because that has bad connotations, no money down. So that's where you're getting the money. That's an easy question. And then once you've done a deal, nobody ever asks that again. Now, if you did a little $300,000 deal and you're trying to do a $22 million deal, they're going to ask again. But if you step up the ladder, as Josh recommended, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, 10, 15, then you're virtually never asked. They give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Tomorrow you're going to get the formula. 1 slide. 3 items. That's it. It's in the templates. Okay? Like sex, even in India, even religious sex in India, it all comes at the end. It still comes at the end, even if you're holy. Yeah. Oh, shit. And the great thing about this is there's always 1, 2, or 3 people that I can give an extra jab, and and they're just so obvious. Of course, when you got your dot on your fucking forehead, you stand out a little more, Or if you wear cheap suits like at least one of you does, you look like a used car salesman. A used car salesman that hasn't sold any cars. I should add that. I mean, it's a little easier. And if you're from down under, where there's a shortage of IQ down under. And the Brits had it right when they shoved all those prisoners out there 250 years ago. It makes it a little easier. Tonight we eat in the castle. Tonight you're going to see Dr. Kleinfeld. You're going to do your goals and affirmations, which are critically important. And don't err not on War and Peace side. Err on extravagance. because you will never overdo or outdo your most wild expectation. And you're sitting right in the middle, not this room, but this estate, which is pretty spectacular. And see, for those of you that want big estates, see them manicured, see every blade of grass cut, every tree trimmed, and not making fun of some of my neighbors. Most of my neighbors' estates look like dog shit because they can't afford the upkeep. And they got it through hundreds of years of inheritance. Normally, when somebody dies, one of my neighbors from 30 years ago dies, they have to sell off part of the land to pay the taxes. And so the estates get smaller and smaller and smaller. And because they can't upkeep them. Who's my 6? 6:30? Okay. Any questions on anything? Just think about how your family is going to embrace you when you get home. For those of you that have families when you're home, they may have left. And we had one guy a long time ago. I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. When he got home, the house was empty. Furniture was gone. And there was no forwarding address. He wasn't German, but anyway, go ahead.
So tonight we write the goals
and affirmations.
And affirmations. Okay.
Yes. See the way he says we write the goals, and okay, yeah.
And those design work as well.
Yeah. And what you think about Klaus? And he sat. You're going to see him filmed. He was standing right about there. Okay, and he was CEO of Alcoa when he came to visit me, and I was happy that he came. And he's the highest profile success story that we have in the stable. And it does work in the corporate world. It's just slower. But it does work because there's such an overwhelming change between chemistry of what the normal corporate environment is and a QLA guy. It does work in politics, i.e. Governor Rick Scott. We have the youngest mayor in recorded history in California, which was Fidel Vargas. I think it was 22. And so it does work in other arenas. Yes, sir.
How did you implement it in such a large organization as Siemens?
It was hard because, I say funny, there's a right way, a wrong way, and a Siemens way, which is funny but absolutely true. But I was fortunate enough to get a person that was capable of being a rising star. I'm good at picking talent. And Klaus would have been successful without me. Whether he would have been CEO of Siemens is another question, because it wasn't his goal to be CEO of Siemens. It was my goal, and he fulfilled it, and he did a terrific job. And he's given me plenty of accolades. He write the book you're going to get tomorrow, legitimately, not the torrent copy you have. He wrote the foreword of it. But it can be, because when you're right and you're good, bless you, time after time, even in big companies like Ford Motor Company, General Motors, Siemens, British Telecom, you stand out. And if you're willing to stay the course, my 2 kids don't want to wait 25 years to be CEO or 20 years. So they're leaving the Fortune 500 companies, yeah.
But you can't really build a board.
No. The dream team, the dream team, he didn't build it. He followed the precepts of QLA. And but he didn't. Ultimately, when he got to be CEO, he transformed the corporate executive board, for sure, and he was CEO of it. He couldn't touch the supervisory board. Those are not pensions. Unions are very strong still in Germany, and they were even stronger 20 plus years ago. And there's still, or at least there used to be a Siemens actually on the supervisory board. I don't know if they're there anymore. But it does work. And you don't form a dream team with an anchor chairman in politics either. But Rick Scott has made it work in politics, and and hopefully he'll win the election in a couple of weeks to be the next senator from Florida after he's had 2 successful terms as a governor. And he understands how to create jobs. I believe Florida is the number 2 state in job creation, just as the President Trump, understands how to create jobs. And people vote with their pocketbook. Everybody's economically better off, not everybody, but almost everybody's economically better off, even minorities, blacks, Hispanics, etc. But there are still people that have gone to school 9, 10 years and can't get a job. And they haven't been taught how to go out and roll up companies. They haven't been taught how to be entrepreneurs. But we don't want everybody out there doing this, do we? There's intergalactic truth and there's our fucking truth, And so we can't help everybody, but we're certainly going to help ourselves, and we're going to be selfish. If everybody was an entrepreneur rolling up, there'd be 10 million people rolling up. Fortunately for you and me, selfishly, there aren't that many people doing it because there's an inherent risk in doing it. And we all know that to a certain degree we're all risk adverse. Some of us are more risk adverse than others. Knowing when to say no. In the beginning, say no to almost everything. But as you get experience and you have confidence in your own ability to choose people, and that people is the commodity, you'll get better and better. And I'm really good at choosing talent, and I have been for a long, long time. But I've made more mistakes than I could write volumes, books. So I got offered. It was recently, last year, write a book about all the failures, so people will keep from making them. No, people would make the mistakes because the last thing they remember is the last thing they read. That's the last thing I want my legacy to be. I taught everybody how to fail at this, fail at that, but I made a lot of mistakes. But my judgment has always been good on people, and it's terrific now. It's because I have a whole plethora of success stories, and everybody in this room is in a business that's either directly or indirectly related to a business that I've been in and I've supervised through the mentor program. All of you. And that's why I know, I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I know you can't help but learn when you've done as many deals that I've been involved in. You'd have to be a fucking retard, real retard, not retard. Don't give me all the shit about the people that are really ill. You got to be really dumb not to have learned after 50 years and doing all these deals. So I have no tips, no shortcuts. The 7 steps is the shortcut, and you guys are going to hit it right at the right time for the calendar. Timing is perfect. The last seminar and this seminar, timing is perfect. And even the seminar that's coming next, they still have time to get it done. Any questions on anything? Okay, kids, I'll see you by 6 and 6:30, and we'll see you at dinner. I think drinks are at 7. Yeah, in the castle. No, you're not, but everybody else is.
Dressed up, right?
Yeah, dressed up, that's correct. And by the way, those of you that came in casual, I said you could, but you look better with your suits on.